Hey everybody, more Red Dragons Armored. So, I did some small changes as I hinted at last time. I put in the Fang Hua Bing. Just for town fighting shouldn't be too difficult here. But, yeah. The other thing is, okay, no, I did not change anything in my air tab. I am considering to potentially replace maybe the Q5D, maybe a J7, maybe something along those lines. I definitely want to keep with the two ASFs. Someone was also saying replace one of the mortar cards. Honestly, no. I wasn't really memeing. I actually want, if the game goes on long, I want to have like 9, 10, 11 mortars on the field and resupply them. I actually want to make use of full two cards plus the farm, believe it or not. Ideally, if I survive that long, okay. And I replaced one of the Type 59s, a 40.1, actually with the John Maho 4. So we get full gun, 17, full range gun, 17 AP, good base accuracy, bad stabilizer though. At 60 points, that is pretty darn good, honestly. So let's focus on the John Maho 4, see what we can make, if we can make that work. That's quick. Let's be a bit safer and open with a hind. Of course, focus is, as always, on the Hwasong Chongs. Spread them out a bit. Let's actually for tank and base. Recon. It's also good recon. Pick him up, and that's all. Okay. You two go there, you stay mid. Right. Shield HF. And let's do this. Now, of course, it's always a bit spooky if your opponent is already that fast, but who knows. This deck should be relatively good against heal rushes, which is why I've split up these a bit so they don't all shoot at the exact same heal at the same time. You go there. You unload over here. You try to unload over here. You in there. And you over there. Actually, I want to think protect against something potentially landing near a spawn. Alright. My one is a bit slow. But it is what it is. Now in that case, get you in here and change altitude. Nothing spotted. I think MI2 is not gonna have proper line. That's Eurocore? That looks like a Sagaye. Yep, that's Sagaye. You actually want to keep hovering low there. Yeah, no line of sight from the road. Your C9 is not something you see very often. Those are on veteran. Could be a mode that you're playing against. It's on type if you know once ready. Some of you. So some aim makes sense. Get two of these Chonmahos over on that side. See, that's why. Oh, this is so good. With the kinetic, with the range scaling, it's C9 doing so much work here. Killed 3 A makes sense, man. So good. You know what? You all just move there directly. Unload you. You drove a bit too far for my liking, but that's okay. Vamps. One quote-unquote bad thing about your tanks being on elite, oh, it's not quote-unquote, it is actually a small, tiny disadvantage. You have no idea if you got, like, killed some, or like if there was anything in there. You have, like, no XP indicator anymore. Ooh, those are some fudging here, Jesus. Oh, are those? Oh, bad Mephisto. You don't see that very often. Interesting. Maybe it was a Fuchs Milan actually. I didn't pay full attention. I mean, Fuchs Milan makes sense if because they were fighting Mega 90. So this very much seems to be Moto. You typically don't see such an infantry selection in the years here on it vetted up though in non-Moto decks. Crotal. See, that's why I hovered it over there, so the Crotal can't get line of sight on that from that far away. Let's get a hind. Let's get some base defense. Playing against Euro Core, which means Tiger, is of course always a potential threat. Legion 90, of course, not of course, but luckily, cannot one-shot us up front. With only 25, quote-unquote, only 25 AP. I would have been really mad if the second one also hit. They're panicked after all. There they are. That's fine. Start rolling out the mortars. Unload you guys. Just a fucking moth just flew in front of my screen. That's annoying. Slice of life. Tiger head. Ooh. John 4 have Strelas. Speaking of, let's get like a base defense and put you in a bush. Very light over here. They're still spotted, but I don't really care too much. It's just, there's 60 points. Why would I care? Get some of you. Okay, maybe I should care now. Where's my mortar? I bought a mortar. Here. You actually... You just got wrecked. Oh well. Oh, okay, got fire positioned. Smart. Don't forget, if your thing is hovering low, your helicopter, you can't just murder it with fire position. My tanks have manpads, by the way, in case you didn't know, my man. It was the Igla. Come on, hit again. Thank you. It might have been the Tiger from here, hard to say, because I don't have the optics there, of course. We need some recon here for sure. Pull these back at close range. I'm just gonna get overrun by these. By these. Yeah. What's with the camera, man? By the. It makes sense. Those are the RCSBs. They have 16 AP at full range. One less than these tanks have, for 20 points less, of course. Did they get nerfed to 45? Honestly, I don't remember. Nicely done. It was probably just a gazelle. No, that was a tiger. Wow. Okay. Oh, you got it as well by a stinger. These guys were spotted, huh? But there's gotta be recon nearby. You know what? Let's get some recon tanks. CDQ 61s are pretty good after all. You're panicked, very nice. Still hit. Okay, there you go. Back. Oh, so you're still all panicked, huh? John Miles, you can give fire support. Get some of you. You have also pretty good AP for your price, even cheaper actually. Also, of course, only 3 front armor, but also more RPM. You really got plenty of glass cannon tanks in this deck. The only tank that has good armor, there's only a few tanks that have good armor for the price. One of those is a T90S, the other one is a T62D. I'm not really a huge fan of the T62D, honestly. Maybe I should still put it in. Dangerous. Just so, you know, I have it. There's that mother trucker. Two of you. No real reason to use flank bombing here. Not a lot of town fighting going on. Or pure infantry fights. And in those, I want to make use of my tanks as well as fire support. Hooks Milan, so Fallschirmjäger 90, okay. Should start buying a CV, but I also want to start getting my mortar army going. Get back, I don't want to lose you. Base Legion. There's some Fallschirmjäger somewhere. Pull you back, actually, there's a Crotal there. You know. Okay, supply trucks. Just get the salvo in for now. Okay. Leave you here for now. I need a salvo here, actually. And... pull you back, back. Mistral, interesting. Another one. Once you really start massing them, that's where they're starting to be really dangerous and really annoying. Get one of you in there. Don't forget there's still a Legion squad in there at least, and probably some other stuff as well. Tal, Roland, plenty of air power, anti-air power. 2 Roland 3s, and I haven't even deposited a single plane yet. It's interesting. Maybe not what I would have done. But then again, I'm not in there. Maybe they were also just rerouted from the other side, from center. Should have taken a look at their autonomy. Being wheeled and having decent base autonomy probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of information out of that. Shot my 05 because that one actually has some good armor and also good RPM. Pretty good medium tank. All things considered, really. Tiger. God, I'm glad I bought this Bossing Chunk just now. That's very much a desperation move. And this... building there being in a way actually very good for me, because that meant that he only got into range very late, which means range scaling, bam, double tapped easily. Okay, he's definitely trying to push my spawn. Alright. Shouldn't be too difficult to deal with, because he doesn't have that much. Before I move up with you, I want to give you fuel. What did I spot there? Not much. What? Lit you up. One of you give fuel there, the other one give fuel to those Type 59s. Speaking of, let's get some. So we're not beholden to like a single medium tank saving us from the spawn push there. I'm Shanxi. And that's GG. Well, that was a quick one. Yeah, that Z-9A was just... It was just chef's kiss. That's the... I mean, obviously, in hindsight, I look like a genius, but that was genuinely why I put it there, right? I want to avoid there being a direct line of sight towards the road. And I want to have it hover at low altitude, so it's not stuck on the ground, of course, and it gets immediately one-shot by kinetic guns like that. That means that if AA wants to be in the range, it either has to drive far to the right side or left side from my perspective, or get like really close, in which case my autocannon might actually win because of the low aim time. And of course the autocannon itself actually has great stats. It just doesn't have a turret, which makes it like not as easy to use, which, you know. And it was just absolute chef's kiss. So given that we only saw one tiger head, I assume that was the only one we it was also the one we killed. Where's the other? We killed 3 tigers, did we not? Oh yeah. Oh, also it was a tiger head in our base, not a Rican tiger, because the only Rican tiger we saw was the one we killed. So we probably did see in the tiger head on the right side that shot at our Shanxi when we pushed up the Fallschirmjäger. That's presumably the one that flew into our base. Let's take a quick look at that. Ooh, Iltis. Probably got a safety activation point in the logistics tab though. Email 6. Okay, I was gonna say I don't remember ever seeing them, but yeah, Iltis of course. In Modo you already get tank CVs, and especially in Eurocore you'd prefer to not have to use 5 logistic tabs. So, as much as I dislike using Jeep CVs, I can't really fault people for using them. Well, like, I mean, I can, but I can also understand why you would use them, even if it's begrudgingly so. All right, there's a Z-9A. Like, look at this. So your A would have to be like in this line, right? So the Cortal would have had to drive like in here or something like that. Or the Rolands. The Rolands would have been also, oh, if they had driven up with them, they have no armor, right? So they get just with the kinetic scaling, just bam, dead. Iran also gets a kill, of course. Z-9A is just a good helicopter. It's not broken, it's not busted, right? Heal rush is, you can't really heal rush with it. Almost got a shot on the Roland as well. But in like situations like this, it's just so. Just look at it go. I very much presume that he was busy microing stuff or doing stuff here, and probably just attack moved his aim extends for the time being. Which meant that, you know, they stood still with the MGs, which don't really do that much to a Z-9A, and then just got demolished. That slowed them down so all the aim extents gone. 2 Recon aim extents, 10 SP aim extents. That completely slowed him down. Meant that he could not like at all punish my, or that try to like get rid of my John Maho force. Infantry were mostly without support. It just killed this push. Just absolutely killed this push. Oh yeah, it was indeed a Fuchs Milan. I just first guess for some reason I thought it's a Vab. And then I saw the Fallschirmjäger 90 and then yeah, made the connection. Yeah, it must be Milan. They did not get nerfed. Oh, okay, only the Riggin type ones got nerfed. Then there's a Tiger Head. It's gonna fly into our base. Like, if there's one thing Red Dragon that is nice about Red Dragon is that you have like very, very easy to use like base and flank defense in the form of Hwasong Chongs, right? They carry some infantry, they have a bit of AP, anti-tank, like anti-vehicle, anti-infantry, and a glass. It's just such a nice and comfy unit. If you're very paranoid about stuff like that, then Red Dragon is actually a good deck to play for that. Yep, there you go. Neither side bought a single plane, by the way. And yeah, I was right earlier. Okay, I guess he just had nothing left here, but they were in fact coming from Charlie. Moved over to Bravo, and were not bought. I guess it was just a last ditch effort to try to go for the spawn, but yeah. Maybe it would have made more sense to try to get from this angle into here as well. But then of course you have to cross the big open field here. Which for Moto at this stage of the game, so close to the second spawn, against a deck that has like high bet tanks, even if the tanks themselves are not amazing, not a good idea. Yeah. Fairly good game. Obviously that C9 made it just so much easy from that point on. Or side. I was never really in trouble because it just yeah. Just honestly in general underrated thing. With rocket pod helicopters, what you can do is like hover it a bit back, so because otherwise you're in a minimum range here. Very similar story. You've seen me done it a couple of times as well, I'm sure, if you watch some of the gameplay videos. Yeah. Moments like this. I don't wanna toot my own horn too much, but it just makes you feel so smart when you pull off when it goes exactly like you planned it to. Ah. That said, I was considering putting in a T62D. Honestly, I am genuinely considering just removing the CTQ62G. I'm gonna leave it in for now. I just haven't bought it yet, which doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. But I maybe or probably should try to fit in the T62D just so I have the option of a high armor for the price, high armor tank. T34 is not so great as it might be, just for like pure when it purely comes to HE output, it is pretty good, right? Like half the it's a 24 HE per minute, which is 18 HE per minute. You know, you lose 25%, but you cost half as well. Obviously, you have less range and your heat, but you also have a 50 cal, which is against infantry actually a bit better than the KBVT. Although it's the bad 50 cal, right? If you look at the T90, the Dishke has actually 5% less accuracy, so it might actually be worse than the KBVT. Um, this honestly, most of the CDCs just I don't like them. They're just eh. And the CDC 853 I actually love. The rest of the tank line, not so much. CDS is fun. This might not be too bad. It actually has a 50 cal as well, one of the better ones. But only 2 armor. It is kinetic with 11 AP and 3. You know what? But then, like, if you compare that thing to this, sure, you get a better gun. Don't get me wrong. More range, more AP, but you also lose 3 armor and you cost 5 points more. Although the thing is, medium optics. I need to try this out. Okay. Get rid of this. I get 2 cards of this, huh? Put you in just for the thing, and 2 cards of you. It does have medium optics, and that's very nice, especially on a 20-point tank. It's mobile. Autonomy is a bit lacking, but it makes up for very good off-road speed because don't forget, autonomy is a timer, not actually. It doesn't actually go by distance. Yeah, that's actually that is when we helped with Eugen's South Africa DLC, we had some impact on some patch changes, right? Um, and I was like, why did we not suggest buffing this to 15 points? But then I realized, oh damn, that has medium optics. It might just also be the case that it doesn't actually deserve medium optics. That's like a, I don't know, obviously like I don't know, some PT76 or something along those lines from 1975. Probably doesn't deserve medium optics. But like if and then I also wouldn't be surprised if this thing actually didn't really exist in the Chinese army and it's something Eugen kind of made up or got wrong information. Isn't it? It's a different turret, right? It's also much smaller. Is it the same thing as the? It's this thing here, the Type 63. That's literally the exact same unit, but one is in a recon tab and one is in a tank tab, huh? It is literally, and of course, 2 different MGs. Other than that, it's, optics and stealth differences. Other than that, exact same unit. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.